My name's Julya Hajnoczky. I live and work in Western Canada, in Calgary, and the title of my exhibition is Refugium. The title of the exhibition is a concept that comes from the world of biology. So it describes an isolated location, sort of a little island of natural habitat that may have been cut off from its surroundings by natural, like geological or climatic process, sort of like the top of a mountain being left uncovered while a glacier covers all the foothills around it, for example. All the work in the exhibition makes reference one way or another to this idea, mostly by kind of imagining human-caused biodiversity and habitat loss. I have always been fascinated by tiny things ever since I was little. I'm drawn to representing them in my work because I think that these are organisms that people don't really notice, but they're such an important, they're really such important and interesting living things. There's been so much information coming out lately about the ways that forests are these really complex interconnected networks, and there's plants that communicate and fungi that kind of tie everything together in these really complicated but tiny systems. So I think it gives people a little bit of a different perspective on the natural world to have these amazing little things brought to their attention. Most of my art practice consists of going for long, slow walks out in the forest or on the beach or in the fields, to be honest. I do, actually though, I spend quite a lot of time reading about all these different ecosystems and all the different things that live in them. And then when I get out there, I'm doing a lot of careful observations. So over the years that I've been working on this project in particular, I found that it's best if I can spend as much time as possible in one place, or even better, return to a place over and over again in different seasons and different years, and really get to know that place. As the project has developed over the years, I've become a lot more deliberate about the things that I collect to use in the photographs. Obviously, I'm only gathering something that exists in abundance in any given place, and then really only after I've spent a lot of time thinking about the picture that I want to make of that place. So once I have a clear image or a clear idea of the final image that I want to make, then I'll go out and start collecting the materials. Although sometimes I sort of find myself kind of composing in my hand as I'm walking and collecting things. So once I've collected the materials, I build the image on the scanner. I don't put them together in Photoshop or anything, so everything is arranged right on the glass. Sometimes it comes together really quickly. Like I said, I'm sort of composing things as I go now, as I gather things. But depending on what I'm working with, if it's something really fiddly, like those little dried grasses and stuff, that can be a little bit more challenging and takes a little bit more time to get everything exactly in place where I want it. Habitat fragmentation is just one more human cause of biodiversity loss and species extinction. It's a really serious problem for a lot of plants and animals because they might need a large range to find food and shelter that they need. And the smaller that these little fragments of habitat get, the harder it is for an ecosystem to survive as kind of a cohesive whole. In the photographs that I make, this idea is visualized as these little sort of islands of life that you see kind of floating in space out of their natural context, kind of cut off from the places that they belong. In the Lightbox installation, It's sort of visualized a different way. Each of these little sort of glowing islands of life that's separated again from the other ones in this little ocean of kind of darkness or emptiness. The magnifying glass sculptures are kind of a counterpoint to the large prints in a way. The prints and the magnifying glasses both have this kind of cool magical aspect that sort of draws you in and gets you interested to look at it. Once you get close though with the sculptures, you sort of get close to these little things that almost look like a human form. They do evoke a human. You see that each one is holding a little specimen that's been painted with this super flat matte black paint. So without that kind of range of light and shadow on the object, it almost looks like a black hole in space in the shape of whatever used to be there. So this leaf or a seed pod or a cone or whatever it is. So the prints on the one hand let you look at these specimens and these species and see all the amazing and beautiful details. With the sculptures on the other hand, with these big like magnifying glass faces, I think for me it really highlights something that probably a lot of us feel, which is that despite all this human knowledge that we have and all the research that we're doing and all the science that we're accumulating, the complexity of the natural world is just so great that despite all of this, as things go extinct, there's no way to put it back together again. There's just the idea that science is somehow going to fix this or put things back together with the human knowledge that we've accumulated is just not realistic. So once these things are gone, they're gone. And they take with them this whole evolutionary history and that little corner of this web of interconnectedness that species was holding up just kind of collapses forever. I hope that people who see the work will develop a greater appreciation or maybe curiosity about these little tiny living things. Maybe that next time they're out for a walk or a hike somewhere, they'll travel a little bit more slowly and look a little bit more closely. I also hope it encourages people to think about the impact that we're having on all the other living things on the planet. We're at a really critical time, and some would say we're even probably past a certain tipping point. So it's really important these days that we all are considering all of our actions and how they impact all these little remaining wilderness areas that we have in our country, but also all over the world. So I definitely hope that the work will make people think about their impact and think about how they can really take some kind of concrete action to make things better, maybe turn things around.